Hello, good day to one and all. This is Miss A. Krishna Sundar, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KAHM Unity Women's College, Manjeri. Today we are going to discuss the last part from Module 1 from the paper Appreciating Drama. This is in fact the fourth part of the series of video lectures based on Module 1. So in the last part we had already discussed a tragic hero who is an Aristotelian tragic hero, hamartia, tragic flow, etc. So today we are going to start with the term chorus. So moving into the first term chorus, there are lots of elements which today's drama had taken from Greek theatre. Some of them include mass, music, costume, dancing, etc. In certain contemporary theatres, even chorus is considered. Chorus actually originated in Greece, and chorus had been a very close associate with the Greek theatre. Now, chorus originated during the festival of Dionysius. We had already discussed the celebration and the feast in connection with the god of wine and fertility, that is Dionysius. And during this feast and celebration, the groups called choruses used to sing and dance. So, in fact, initially they were not part of the Greek theatre. They just had a major share in the celebration which was conducted to honor the god Dionysius. But eventually, plays became a part of the festival, which means Greek theatre became more and more prominent and chorus continued to stay around. So the participation by chorus always kept the audience informed. So this is how chorus originated in Greece and how it got slowly adapted into Greek theatre. They were in fact trained by Choragos, a rich person. They continued dancing and singing in association with this celebration, and eventually they became a part of Greek plays. Now, even the best chorus won prizes during this time, so they had a very important part to play in Greek society. Now, what exactly is the purpose of the chorus? They set the mood of the play. They created a psychological and emotional background for the action on stage. They entered quite early and remained even after the end of the play. So, before the characters appeared, the chorus was there, and even after the characters disappeared from the stage, the chorus remained to comment on these characters. Now, this is how it goes. It begins with a prologue, and then we have scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4, scene 5. This is how it goes. So, soon after the prologue comes parados. So, this is how it works. We will get into the details in the coming slide. So, between each of these scenes, there would be a choric ode. And finally, there is epilogue, which is the last part, and then exodus, where all the people or all the characters disappear from the stage. Now, these choric odes were actually divided into two parts, strophes and antistrophes. Now, strophe is actually the first argument, and here the chorus as a team would move from the right to the left on the stage. Now, antistrophe is a second argument, and for the second argument, they would be moving from the left to the right. So they had a specific role and had a specific purpose within the Greek theatre. They were known as a collective voice on dramatic action. So the chorus impacted the way in which a play was organized. So it was dependent on the chorus that the real effect of the play got produced. The chorus appeared in most of the important scenes of a play. So they were actually a part of the entire theatrical performance. They came up with their commentaries, they questioned the characters, they also gave moral and religious comments. And moral and religious comments, as you can see, they were really, really important during this period, thousands of years ago. So everything was based on these moral and religious platform. So naturally, they gave these kind of comments within the play. They performed singing and dancing with mass. So you can see, as a collective group, they all wore the same kind of mask and they appeared as one entity on the stage. They acted as an agent, giving advice and connecting with the audience. So, in fact, a link was born between the characters and the audience through this chorus. They established an ethical framework by which action was judged. So, whatever happens on stage, the chorus used to substantiate it on the basis of an ethical framework. So, their main role was to balance the sequences on stage, and chorus was considered as an inevitable part of Greek theatre. Now, we move on to the next part, the different types of plots. Now, there are two kinds of plots. One is simple plot and the other one is complex plot. As the name suggests, a simple plot is a very simple one which moves forward continuously and uniformly towards the catastrophe, which means towards the climax or the suffering or whatever you call it. So, if you look at a simple plot, you cannot find a lot of twists and turns. It goes in a very natural and logical way with not much surprises and startling incidents. This is what you call as a simple plot. Now, the best example would be the Malayalam movie, the first movie of Kunjako Boban. If you have seen that movie, I'm sure at least you might have heard about this movie, Aniyati Pravu. If you have seen this movie, you can say it's just a very casual love story. The guy falls in love with the girl. The girl is reluctant to give an answer. Now this continues for a long period of time. Now, finally, the girl says yes. They elope, they move out, and the families come into action. So you can see there are no surprises or sudden startling incidents. We know how it is going to end, right? Because all love stories end in the very same way if it is a happy ending. So finally, we see the families, they agree to their relationship and they get married. They're going to get married. This is how the movie ends. So if you look at this moves forward continuously and uniformly, and there are no great surprises, as you can see here. Now, this is what you call as a simple plot. Now, coming to the next one, this is complex plot. Now, complex plot, as the name suggests, would be slightly complex in its nature. And in complex plot, according to Aristotle, he brings in two different terms. One is peripatea and the other one is anagnorisis. Now, according to Aristotle, a complex plot will contain both peripatea and anagnorisis. So these are again Greek terms. Now, let us analyze these terms. What is peripatea and what is anagnorisis? Now, peripatea is the reversal of situation. It is a sudden change of fortune, the reversal of circumstances. So suddenly there is a different scenario, there is a different circumstance which needs to be resolved. Now this happens in all tragedies. This happens in all movies if you look at it. So peripatea is a reversal of situations. Now, the second one, anagnorisis, means it is a discovery of truth. A truth is suddenly recognized, a truth is suddenly realized. And Aristotle says you need both these elements to make it a complex plot. And he says the best tragedies are always the complex ones. So peripatea and anagnorisis, these are the two important terms coming in a complex plot. Now let us analyze these terms in detail. So peripetea, as we have discussed, it is a change of situation from one state of affairs to its opposite. So suddenly it's just the opposite which is happening. So this creates the trouble or the problem within the drama or the movie. I'm giving you a lot of examples from movies so that you would be able to identify with movies easily rather than plays or drama. So it is a sudden change of situation from one state of affairs to its opposite. So in a way, it is a dramatic shift and it is a turning point, and it is from this point onwards that the complication begins. And this change can be internal or external. Sometimes the change might happen within the psychology of the character. Sometimes it would be the external circumstances. In both these cases, we can see it acts as a literary device, a device which actually propels the plot forward. So it is only because of this peripetea that something is changing and something is happening within the play or a movie. Now the best example would be the old Mohanlal movie. It is a 1989 movie which is titled as Kireedam. I don't know how many of you have watched this movie, but at least I believe you know the storyline of this movie. Now if you look at this movie, it's a very happy family. The father, Tilagan, is a police officer, and the son, Mohanlal, who plays the role of Sethu Madhavan. You can see he is aspiring to become a police officer, but unfortunately, on one fine day, when he finds his father, the policeman, being thrashed by a criminal, the criminal is Kirikadan Jose, he suddenly interferes. So it is an impulsive action. Remember, we studied hamartia, or an impulsive action, a tragic flow, some kind of a weakness by the character. So as an impulsive action, he interferes and he finally kills this criminal. So the one who has to become the future police officer is now being imprisoned. So this is sudden change of situation, the reversal of fortune, the reversal of situation. Now with this, everything in the story changes. So this is what you call as peripetea. Another simple example would be from the movie Titanic. Now I'm quoting this movie since this is a very popular movie by James Cameron. All of you might have seen this movie. Now the story goes forward and the real problem comes when the ship gets stuck with an iceberg. The ship hits an iceberg, and it is from here onwards the total reversal of situations happen. Now again, if you look at the movie Drishyam, in the movie Drishyam, you can see it's a very happy family which is moving ahead. The father, the mother, and two daughters, and everything is fine and right with this family until this boy comes in. Until this teenager comes into their life and they had to kill this boy. So from that point onwards, everything changes. Now this is what you call as peripetea. So with these examples, I believe you're able to understand what this term is. So peripetea is a sudden change of situations because this is necessary. This is a literary device which can propel the plot. Moving on to the next term, anagnorisis. Now, anagnorisis is a change from ignorance to knowledge. We already discussed it. It is the sudden discovery of truth. Now see, with peripetea, there is a sudden change of situation. There is no truth coming in, but with anagnorisis, there is a sudden discovery of truth. Now this discovery can be something related to your identity. Sometimes it can be about something you believed in. Sometimes it can be connected with your birthright. So anything could be related with anagnorisis as far as it can produce some kind of a discovery. Now the best example would be from the epic series Game of Thrones. Now in Game of Thrones there is a character Daenerys Targaryen. Now Daenerys believes that she is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. But in the last part of the series, there is another character called Jon Snow who is believed to be a bastard. But suddenly in the last part, there is a discovery of truth which says that it is Jon Snow who is a Targaryen who has the right for the Iron Throne. So this comes as a sudden discovery, and this is a shock even for Daenerys Targaryen and even for Jon Snow himself, and more than that, it comes as a shock even for us, the audience. Now again, there is another beautiful movie, The Sixth Sense. Now, in this movie, Sixth Sense, there is a child psychologist whose name is Malcolm Crowe. Now, throughout the movie, we find this child psychologist as a very important character. But it is only at the end of the story, in the very last part, we realize, the audience can realize that he is a dead character. He is no more, and it is only the ghost of this character which is seen by the child character within the movie. So it is a shock for the audience because we all believe that he is a real character, and it is only at the end of the story we get the news, or we realize that it was a ghost which had been running throughout the movie all this time. So this is a sudden discovery of truth. Now another example from a play would be Macbeth. If you have read the story, you can see Macbeth becomes the king after killing the previous king Duncan. Now, there is a prediction which has given by the witches to Macbeth. And the prediction goes like this: nobody can kill Macbeth. Any person born out of a woman cannot kill Macbeth. This is a prediction given by the witches, and Macbeth firmly believes in that. So Macbeth ultimately comes to the conclusion that no man born out of a woman can kill him means nobody can kill him. So he believes that he is going to be a kind of a person who cannot be killed by anyone. He firmly believes in that until a character named Macduff comes in, and it is Macduff who kills him. But Macbeth is not at all worried about Macduff, because Macbeth believes that even Macduff cannot kill him because he is born out of a woman. But it is in the last part of the play that Macduff says that he was not born in a normal way from a woman, but his mother was dying and he was ripped out of his mother's womb. So ripped out of mother's womb means it's something like a cesarean or a C-section, which was not very common in those days. So a child who is not born out of a normal delivery, and that is Macduff. So in such a way, when he hears this news from Macduff, that is a point when Macbeth really becomes scared. So this is a discovery for Macbeth, a discovery of truth. So he suddenly realizes that there is a challenge coming from Macduff because he is not born out of a woman in a normal way. Again, an Oedipus Rex. Now, Oedipus Rex can be taken as an example for all the definitions given by Aristotle. According to this play, Oedipus kills his father and marries his mother. And he is leading a very happy life without knowing this, but at the end of the story, there is a discovery of truth. He realizes this, he is shocked, and as audience, we are also shocked. So this is what you call as anagnorisis. Now, another example would be the movie Devasuram, again a Mohanlal movie. Now, in the story, Mohanlal firmly believes that he is the son of such and such a person. But when his mother is in the deathbed, she calls him up and she reveals the news that the real father is a very ordinary man. Now, this comes as a shocking news for the character Neelakandan. The reason is that he always believed that his father was a powerful man. But on the deathbed, his mother is telling him that that is not his real biological father, but his biological father is a very ordinary man. So this comes as a shocking news to him because his identity is revealed and he realizes that he is not the son of the person whom he thought to be. So this is what you call as a discovery of truth. Sometimes it will be related with your identity or your birthright, sometimes something totally different. So anyway, it is a discovery of truth, and it is this shock or this surprise which makes the plot really complex and tragic. So moving on to the last one, this is a basic structure of a tragedy. So, this is how a tragedy works in a Greek theatre. It starts with prologue. Now, this is the initial part that precedes the chorus. So, it is only after this that the chorus will get its entry. Then comes parode, which is the entrance song of the chorus. So, it is at this point that the chorus comes on stage. Then comes episode. Now, episode is between two chorus songs or two choric odes. So, this division today is known as acts. We have different acts today in plays and drama. The next one is testament. Now, this is a choric ode, and the chorus can dance and sing during this testament. And mostly, this would be based on the commentaries on the characters, or sometimes the theme, or sometimes it could be anything related with the play. Then comes Commos, which is a joint lamentation. Now, this is actually coming in the last part because since this is a tragedy, there is suffering which is happening for the character, there is a downfall of the character. So, finally, it's becoming tragic, and it is at this point of time that there is a joint lamentation, and the chorus would be sympathizing with the character. Then comes the last part, Exodus. Now, this is the final part, the end part, and there would be a processional song, and you can see it is mostly connected with wisdom because whatever had happened on the stage, the chorus would be justifying it, or the chorus would be trying to balance the actions which came on the stage as a visual display. So, this is actually giving out the wisdom in connection with moral and ethical values. So, this was mostly based on religious ideas too. So, with this, we come to the end of Module 1. So, thank you very much for your patient listening. If you have got any doubts, queries, any suggestions, or if you need more assistance, please do not hesitate to connect with me in my email ID. So, thank you very much. Thank you.